There's a land that is fairer than day, and by faith we can see it afar. For the Father waits over the way to prepare us a dwelling place there in the sweet by and by.
How's everybody doing this evening? Glad everybody's here. Sorry, that's why I was staring at the speaker. Glad everybody could be here. Glad everybody's watching. I just want to let everybody know, I want to apologize to everybody for what happened Tuesday. It wasn't right, it wasn't godly, and it should have never got that far with me. And I have repented for it. And I'm working on that. I'm trying to get better at it. When you live with anger so much as long as I did and you didn't care about nobody's feelings, and I think it's something that's hard to break. So God's been working on me. He's been throwing me curveballs every now and then. Some of them I catch, some of them I miss. So from here on out, I'm gonna do my best to be better and get past this, because this is something that's hindering me, it's holding me up, and I don't want it to affect anybody else, cause anybody else to fall, have their own issues, or have something come back on them because I slipped and I fell, and I just want to apologize to everybody for that. And I just want to open with a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we just ask you to come down and touch the congregation tonight, Lord. We just ask you to come down and bless this house and touch everybody who's in it, Lord. Open their hearts so they can receive the message, Lord. Anybody that's watching this, Lord, anybody that's out there that's just begging for you, Lord, that's pleading for you, we ask you to go down and touch them and let them know you're still there. Send somebody, send your angels, send somebody like us, send the least likely person to go to them, Lord, to save them, to help them, because they need it, whether it's food, whether it's clothing, whether it's just to know that you still love them, just to stop them from doing something they shouldn't be doing, Lord. We ask you in Jesus' name. Amen. So I was trying to figure out where we were going to go tonight, and God has his own way. And I thought I was on par. And as we were worshiping, God changed my mind, which is okay, because he can do that. So as we were worshiping, I keep seeing all the stuff on, social media and mostly on YouTube, where people are making these videos against all these, popular preachers, and, all these people saying that they're evil and they're the devil and they're crooks and blah, blah, blah. It's been going on for years. And I'm sure people talk about us, and you know what, it doesn't bother me, because, I know where I'm going. And I want to take these people with me, even though they're mad and, don't believe in God or hate God or saying we're crooks and this and that, because, it's all about the money. But, if there was no money, half these people wouldn't know where to turn and know what to do. So as I was worshiping God, he says, a lot of these people are mad because they listen to these sermons and they follow these preachers or these pastors, and it's mostly their family members that they're always following them, giving them money, but they get sick and die, or bad things happen to them. And he says the people stop. They stop believing. They stop wanting what I have. They stop feeling like I'm there. They stop loving me. They stop caring. They don't care anymore. And he says, but the thing is, he says, I couldn't catch the scripture, so I was so excited, so I had to look it up. But I got the scripture that I'm going to read, and I'm going to explain it to you the way God explained it to me. It's Mark chapter 1, verses 16, I think 17 and 18. Now as he walked by the Sea of Galilee, he saw Simon and Andrew his brother casting a net into the sea, for they were fishers. And Jesus said unto them, Come ye after me, and I will make you to become fishers of men. And straightway they forsook their nets and followed him. So if you look at verse 17, what does it say? He says, if you come after me, I will make you fishers of men. He didn't say, come after me and I will feed you. Don't come after me and I will take care of you. I will show you how to take care of yourself, how you will take care of these other people. And as long as you believe on me and do as I've instructed, he said, you will have no problem. You will be blessed, and you will be blessed, and you will be blessed, and you will be blessed. And you don't have to worry about anything. And I think these people follow, but if they don't get what they're looking for, then they turn away. Instead of continuing to follow and saying, hey, you know what? I missed that. I didn't get that. I didn't understand that. Was I supposed to do that? Or, you know, it's the big one is God doesn't care. God didn't do this for me. God didn't do that for me. But like we said before, what are your prayers? What are you saying? What's coming out of your mouth? What's in your heart? Because if you say, God, I need a new car. Please, can I have a new car? God's going to give you a new car. It may be new to you. It may not be brand new. It may be an old Model T Ford that runs. With, you know, what do they have, like a 15 horsepower motor or something that averages like 12 miles an hour? You know what I'm saying? But it's new to you. So when you get down and heartfelt, before you start asking for something, think about what you're going to say. Think about what you're going to ask for. You know, another big thing is people ask for their relatives not to die. Oh, God, don't let my mom die. God, don't let my dad die. God, don't let my grandparents die. You know, these people are sitting there and they're dying and they're in pain and they want to go home. And granted, we don't want to let them go because of selfishness. So you get to the point you're like, okay, God, and I know God heard me. I've been praying for 2 weeks not to take them home, not for them to die. So God's not going. I know I can just tell God's not going to kill him. God not kill him, but He's not going to let him die. So then, as God, I don't want them to be in pain anymore. Take their pain away. Let them be happy. Let them continue on. Let them have a good life. Just take the pain away so they can get out of bed, so they can move, so they can be happy, so they're not miserable anymore. Minutes, hours, days later, they wind up passing away, and then you get mad at God because you're the one that asked God to take the pain away. God took the pain away. They're not in pain anymore. Well, God, that's not what I meant. But that's what you asked for. All you have to say is, God, I don't want them to go, but please take their pain away. Please make them better. And God's going to do what God's going to do, but if you're already prepared for, you know, God's going to do what God's going to do, yeah, granted, it's going to be sad, it's going to be upsetting, but let's look at the alternatives. Listen, it was hard with my dad, but you know what? I know what the alternatives was. He was in pain. He didn't have a life. Yeah, he was talking, before he went to the hospital last time, he was talking, and he was moving, not on his own, but we were helping him, and he was alive and breathing and calling and talking to people and eating and going to the bathroom and yada, 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 having a normal life. But he was miserable. He was in pain. He couldn't get up and walk. He was in so much pain. The painkillers, he didn't want to get hooked on painkillers. And I understand that. But there's a limit. There's a point when you got to say enough's enough. You know, you got to take that, you know, that prescription painkiller. And he wouldn't do it. He would sit there. He'd wait till he was almost in tears before he would start taking the painkillers. And then when he went to the hospital, You know, they were trying to do everything. They put him on the morphine drip, and it couldn't take the pain away. They were coming in and giving pain meds on top of the morphine drip, and it still couldn't take the pain away. The last week of his life, or so, I don't remember. It wasn't very long. They gave him the button for the morphine pump, but he could only push it so many times, and it would only drip out. And they're like, "Oh, well, this is what we give everybody." It didn't touch it. You know, granted, his knees were shot. He got third-degree burns on his butt that we fought for 6 months to keep from getting infected. And, you know, he had a lot of other psychological issues, and he was ready. You know, we lost my uncle the year before, and that took a toll on him. I still got another aunt and uncle, but I don't know, some people just go get psychological, but we got to the point where, like, what do you want to do? He says, I want to die. He says, I don't want to be in pain anymore. We're like, look, this is what we can do for you. And when he finally got him convinced that it was the best for him, because he thought he was going to go to a nursing home and die, and, you know, he didn't want to be alone. But once we convinced him and he realized it, then when he got the pain, the sedation medicine, to sedate him, it was hard. But he's not in pain. And he asked for it, and we asked for it. It doesn't mean it's easy. Because I could have been sitting there and saying, no, you can't go. You can't go. You have to be here and be in pain. And listen, he's running around. He hasn't been able to walk good in what, 15 years at least? So what's the alternative? You know? But there's no sense in me getting mad at God for something I asked for. And I knew what I was asking for. It wasn't just something, you know, out of the blue, out of feelings or spur of the moment. I knew what I was asking for. And you know what he was asking for? So don't get mad at God for what you do. It's not his fault when he does what you ask him to do. And don't get mad when something doesn't happen when you expect it to happen or how you expect it to happen. Because Jesus even took these men out and said, I will teach you how to do this. And he taught them. He didn't say, you know, he didn't tell them the first person he walked up to, hey, walk over and lay hands on that guy. Walk over and cast a demon out of that guy. You can do it. He showed them first. He taught them in parables. So don't be getting mad at the preacher and the minister. I mean, I'm not saying they're all good, and I'm not saying none of them are crooks. But what I'm saying is don't get mad at them because somebody you love is following them or following the Bible. Because, excuse me, that's how we're supposed to be living, is what's written in the Bible. Not word for word. But we're supposed to worship and love God first, foremost. And we're supposed to love our neighbor. And then we can get in the whole thing of tithing and going to church and stuff. And the tithing is a simple one. It's not because God wants your money. God doesn't need your money. God doesn't need to pay the electric bill in heaven. You couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford it. Tithing shows obedience. You give him the 10% off the top. Give that to God, and God says, okay. It's like with your child, when you're teaching your child to listen to what you're saying, instead of looking at you like you're speaking a foreign language. Or, to do a chore. Hey, take the trash out and I'll give you, back in my day, we'll give you 50 cents a day when it was your turn to take out the trash. Or do the dishes or something, it was a chore. But it taught you obedience, it taught you responsibility. And granted, being a kid, having money and running to the store, you're going to buy candy. You're not going to buy fruit, vegetables, and stuff that's good for you. You're going to buy candy. You're going to buy ice cream. You're going to buy what appeals to you. And sometimes as adults, we do that too. We go to the store, we run and buy candy and ice cream, cheesecake. I won't mention names, point at people. But that's the rewards for being obedient. Living the life that we live, or even that you live, with your obedience level, it has rewards. And I'm not saying do it for the rewards. Don't do it because of the rewards. Do it because of God. Because as a parent, when you have one child that's good and one child that's bad, or not as good, or is in trouble, you still want to do something for them like you would the child that's good, but you're more apt to do something for the child that's good than you are for the one that's bad. Because we always remember the bad things. Everybody always remembers the bad things that you did. They don't remember the good things. Sammy could go out and tow the mayor's car, or fix a tire on it, or the governor, or the president, or something. And everybody will think he's a hero, and he's awesome, and Sammy's cool, and this and that. But Sammy makes a mistake. He's backing up his tow truck, and he hits a car. He scratches a car. They're going to remember him scratching the car over him fixing a tire on the president's car. I mean, not that would happen, but it's a scenario. There was a quote, I can't remember who said it, but it's, you're always judged by your last worst act. You could live your life abundantly, doing everything right, being a humanitarian, helping this person, helping that person. Oh, that's the greatest person in the world. They'll do anything for anybody, and everybody loves you, but you have one bad mistake. One mistake. And they'll remember that over the million things you did before. But now, here's the best part. They can remember all they want. But when you repent, when you ask for forgiveness, when you're born again, God forgets about it. He remembers no more. It's like he's got a dry erase board right here. And he's got your name on it. And he's just writing down the stuff that, that you did wrong, that you did right. He's keeping track of it. But all of a sudden you realize, oh, wait a minute, I'm doing bad stuff, I'm doing wrong. You start slipping over to the other side. And you fall down on your face and you repent and you cry and you beg for forgiveness. And you plead and you plead. And God says, okay. It's all gone. When you get to heaven, it'll be all gone. It won't be there. He's going to open up the book of life. And it's not to show you what you did wrong. It's to show you why things happened in your life the way they did. the order of your life. He's not going to say, well, because I did this and you were a jerk here and a jerk here and a jerk here, you can't get into heaven. He's going to say, this happened because this happened because this happened because I'm God, and this is how your life was supposed to go. God already knows the beginning from the end. He knows what you're going to do before you do it. Listen, He knows what you're going to do next month before you even know. I'm not saying that that you got to worry about what God's going to think that you do, think of you next month, because we got to live in today. But I'm saying God already knows. So as long as you're forgiven for your past, it doesn't exist. The devil's the one that brings up your past because he wants to derail you. He wants to get you to himself. He wants to be in control of you. Because he's a control freak. He has to have the remote. He has to be in control of everything. And we give him the power. Jesus took that power from him. So we give him the power. You want to go on a tab for John? It's going to be John chapter 10, 1 through, I don't remember. God is in control. This is in red. I know it looks blue up here, but it's highlighted. It's in red, and it's Jesus speaking, so it's important. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. But he that entereth in the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calleth his own sheep by name, and leadeth them out. And when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. And a stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him, for they know not the voice of strangers. This is a parable spake Jesus unto them. But they understood not what things they were which he spake unto them. Then said Jesus unto them again, Verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. I am the door. By me, if any man enter, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out, and find pasture. The thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. So the thief they're referring to here is the devil. Well, anybody can be a thief, but the devil's a thief because he only comes to steal, he only comes to destroy, he only comes to kill. The devil doesn't care. It's whatever he can get.
And that scripture right there proves that there's no other way into heaven except through Jesus.
Right.
Because it says if you try to come any other way,
Except for through me.
yeah, that you're a thief
Thief
and a
and a robber.
robber.
Right. So if you think that, skirting by with your life and I don't have to go to church and I don't have to listen to God and I don't have to listen to this religious stuff and I don't have to believe all this stuff about God and this and that and I'll still get into heaven because I'm a good person, you're wrong. The only way to get into heaven is through Jesus Christ. Right there in verse 7. I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. Right, go down. I don't know which one I was looking for.
Then do you mean that enters not by the door?
Right, verily, verily, which is truly, truly, which is, obviously it's important because it's twice. He's trying to get your attention. And it's in red, so that means it's important. I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. So, just like the Tower of Babel, when they were building it, they were trying to get into heaven. He just brought that to me.
Yeah.
When they were building the Tower of Babel, to get up to heaven, God had to stop it because there's only one way in, through Jesus Christ. Now, I'm not saying all the people in the Old Testament that were supposed to get into heaven didn't get into heaven. But the way they got in, we can't get in. And God didn't just randomly say, well, you know, all the people in the Bible could come up to heaven. That was, you know, for them what they had to do. And Jesus came down. They had to make the sacrifices and, you know, not do a whole lot of stuff, you know, and not interact with a lot of people. And a lot of them didn't because they either were farmers, they were sheep herders. You know, they lived out and they didn't see anybody but maybe once a year until Jesus showed up. No. But, you know, they lived way out in the middle of nowhere.
That's why they all came together for festival.
And that's why they all came together at a certain time for the sacrificing of the lamb, the Passover, all the holidays that they had then. That's when everybody came together. And everybody brought food and, you know, okay, you're going to bring the meat, you're going to bring the vegetables, and, you know, I still want to meet the guy that was bringing the ice cream. That was pretty cool. Okay, so it wasn't a minute. But see, Jesus came down. Everybody thinks the story of Jesus is so messed up and so twisted. And it's 90% of it's not even true. Some of it is, bits and pieces of it is an aspect, but Jesus came down for us. He's the sheep, the shepherd. So don't try to get into heaven any other way except for through Jesus. Fall down on your face, repent, ask God for forgiveness, beg Jesus to come into your life. You don't have to go to church, you can do it right where you're at. There's nothing in the Bible that says you have to make a big spectacle out of it. But man makes a big spectacle. Yes, you do have to be baptized. But that doesn't have to be a big spectacle in front of 1 million people. John the Baptist didn't do it in front of 1 million people. Jesus didn't do it in front of 1 million people. It was the people that were there. Call your church. Call us. You know? We'll fill up the pond or the bathtub, whichever is easy, cleaner at the time. But you can't get in any other way. Let's go to the next one. Be Revelation chapter 3. This ties in with everything. It's going to be chapter 3, 20, 21, and 22, I believe. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him, and I will sup with him, and he with me. See? That's Jesus wanting to come into your life. It's not that he's going to come to your house. He might. You know? You never know. He's Jesus. He'll do what he wants. He wants to come to your house. He'll come to your house, but he's wanting to come into your heart. To him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith to the churches. That's not what I was looking for. I don't know why. Stay right there, 20. Apparently we're supposed to be there. But you see, it goes back to the shepherd hearing the sheep's voice. We are the Lamb of God. Jesus is the shepherd. That's why it says that he left the 99 to go find the one. He knew where the 99 were. He didn't know where that one was, so he left to go find it. to make sure it didn't get carried off or get lost and be eaten by the wolves. Watch the Discovery Channel, watch the History Channel, look it up online about sheep herders and watch what they do. To me, that looks hard, but I mean they've been doing it for years. But watch how they interact with the sheep and how how the sheep know and what to do and where to go. And they follow him, and there's times where they'll run out because he knows he gives the signal that it's okay, go run to the next pasture. And he's got the dog that goes with him and helps him to keep them corralled, to keep the wolves at bay. But it's interesting, and just put yourself in the place of a sheep, and Jesus is a shepherd. And watch it, and watch what the shepherd would do for his sheep, and what Jesus would do for you. Don't think of it as, he's just going to feed us and, make sure we don't die. There's so much more to it. That's just the start. That's the basis of it. Stop and count on one hand. I'll make it easy. Count on one hand how many times Jesus has saved your life. And if you're not sure if it was Jesus or luck, count it as Jesus. That's something he does for you. He loves you. His love is unconditional. What's something that you love unconditionally? My right answer is my wife. After Jesus. She's looking at me, yeah, that's right. You better, I got you. When you can hear his voice, you know his voice. The devil will try to fool you. The devil will try to talk to you. That's when we get led astray. When we go off away from the shepherd, away from the flock. That's when you're easy pickings. That's when you're an easy target. Because you're vulnerable. You get scared because it's something new. You're not supposed to be here. Your sheeply sense tells you you're not supposed to be here. You don't belong here. But you get lost and separated because you're following something you shouldn't be. A butterfly, a squirrel, something that throws you off. But if you just stop and wait and listen and be calm and be still, you will hear the shepherd's voice because he will be calling to you. He will be looking for you. He's not going to go, I've got 100 sheep, I lost one, I still got 99, we're good. We're not going to starve this year. No, he's going to leave that 99 to come find you because he wants 100. It's all or nothing. And that's the same way it is with God. It's all or nothing. It's not like, today I want to be with God. Well, no, today I'm going to be with the devil. No, you know what, the devil, I'm mad at you. I'm going to go be with God for a while. Oh, but the devil, you're so much fun. There's none of that. There's none of that. It's one or the other. And God's not going to say, go to the devil. I hate you and I don't want to see you no more. No. You say, I'll be right here where you left me. Come find me when you're ready. And he'll do everything he can to get your attention, to bring you back. He'll send people messages. People say, subliminal messages. Think of it however you want. But it's messages from God. And he does it even when you walk with him. He does it to me all the time. I'll be sitting there doing something and I'll stop and I'll be like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God, for this. Thank you, God, for that. Things that we take for granted that we don't realize. Simple as the sunset, the sunrise, sunset, the moonrise, the moonset, the stars. See, stuff that we take for granted because it's always going to be there. It's always been there and it's always going to be there. But that's the way we look at everything in life. Well, it's always been there, so it's always going to be there. But it doesn't have to be. And it may not be. You know, what if we wake up one day and God decides the sun's not going to shine today? God goes on vacation and the sun doesn't come up because God's on vacation. Then what? The world's going to be in a panic because the sun didn't come up, unless you live in Alaska. And the sun never goes down or never rises, depending on the time of year. But what I'm saying is, everything that we take for granted can be taken away from us. We can lose it. And not because, oh, well, I sinned last night. I went out drinking and fornicating and was a sinner and maybe or may not did drugs. I don't remember because I was so drunk. No, it's not going to be something that simple. Listen, read the Bible. In the Bible, it tells you all the times that God stepped in and did something. It was because it needed to be done. You know, like my wife said a couple times already, we're lucky that God hasn't stepped in again and tried and said, you know what, enough. I'm done. You know, the first time it didn't take that long before He flooded the earth. And it wasn't long after that when He destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. But here we are, 2015 years after Jesus was here, His Son that was supposed to save the world, to turn the world around. And He hasn't done nothing yet? Oh, I know, the world events, the hurricanes, the tsunamis, the earthquakes, it's history. Global warming, it's history.
Probably one of the only reasons why He hasn't done anything is because of Jesus.
Right? Because
it says, everyone that my Father has given to me,
right.
nothing can pluck out of my hand. So the only reason why God has not destroyed the earth
Right.
is because of Jesus, because of His Son.
And I believe it, and we should thank Him every day.
That just came to me.
Well, thank you, that's good. He's probably trying to tell me and I wasn't getting it. I don't know. Uh-oh. The Son of God became the Son of Man, so that the Son of Man could become the Son of God. So we're supposed to get back to where we came from, basically. But God has tried so many different ways to get our attention when we're sidetracked, when we're lost, when we're somewhere else. He will do anything. Like I said, signs, wonders, a flower growing up, you know, somebody coming up and, you know, saying, hey, how are you? You know, start a conversation, have a blessed day. Or, you know, isn't it a beautiful day that God has given us? Or something. And it's not because, you know, these people deserve it any more than you, but God's trying to call you back. Get your attention to say, hey, I'm still here. I still love you. I know you're over there running with the devil, but I still love you. Why don't you come on back and see what I have for you? Because everybody's running with the devil because the devil will give it to you right now. It's instant. You can have it. The only downfall is when the devil's tired of you playing with his toys, he's going to take it back. Just like a 3-year-old. Just like a 2-year-old. Everybody's been through that with their children. Oh, you can't touch that. That's mine. That's my favorite one. You can't play with that. You can't. No, mine. That's the devil in a nutshell. He's a 3-year-old. He acts just like one. He tells stories just like one. And he lies just like one. I can show you, I have a 4-year-old that lies, and he's trying to get good at it. I'm trying to stop that one. But that's all the devil is. I'm your friend as long as I can get something from you. Everybody raise your hand who's had that one person in their life. At least one. I know most of us have had more.
Those are
Yeah.
groupie.
Right? You know, they want you to go be my friend because, you know, or the rich kid when you were growing up, hey, you know, you try to be their friend because they're rich and they got all the cool toys. You know? And they got all the cool games for the Atari. Or they got the new Apple IIe computer. Yeah, Apple's been around for a long time.
You're dating yourself.
Listen, just because the first computer game I ever played was Oregon Trail and it was on a green screen and everything was blocks. The few people in here go, shut up, shut up.
Still remember rotary phones.
Right?
Long
Now
before,
rotary phones.
long before computers.
No, that YouTube video.
Right. My wife was talking about this YouTube video. I'll sum it up real quick. When this elderly lady had
My
a
grandmother was telling her to call her mom.
right. She took her cell phone away from her or something, wasn't it? Her granddaughter was being bad. She had a landline. For those of you that don't know what a landline
Some people don't.
I know some people don't know what a landline is.
Right.
But it was a phone attached to the wall. She had this old rotary phone that you had to put your finger in the number and spin it, and then let it go back. And then if you had to make a long distance phone call, because when I was growing up, I had like sausage fingers dialing the phone so much. But anyway, and she's like, "How do you do this? I can't figure it out." She's pushing the buttons, and nothing's happening. And she's like, "You don't know how to use a phone?" She's like, "I know how to use a phone." And she's like, "Okay." And she wants to dial like a 6, and she takes and puts her finger in the 6, and she's like, and it moves a little bit. She's like, "Oh, okay." So she goes up, she moves the 6 up to about the 3 spot, and then she lets it go. And she's like, and going back and forth, it's funny, I have to look it up on YouTube. I can't remember all of it, but she kept yelling at her because she didn't know how to use a phone. And this girl, you know, what was she? She was a teenager.
Yeah.
So she had no idea what a landline was, you know,
Or what a room.
or what a rotary phone was, how to use it.
They get
Yeah, they don't know. They don't.
And there's that payphone out there, right? And their dad's like, we used to use that to call people and put money in, and them kids are going.
Yeah, but the fancy ones in the city with the doors and stuff, that's where all the superheroes lived.
Really going nuts with the operator one,
The
yeah.
crank one?
That was, I remember that one too.
I think my grandparents had one for a little bit when I was
Yeah,
not very long.
we had one.
And then they got the push button phone after the rotary, and we thought that was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Till the cordless phone came out. And that was great because you didn't have this cord on the end of the phone that was like 35 feet long. Because everybody was stretching it trying to go talk to somebody in another room.
If you needed to use the phone, you could find it though.
You could, yeah.
Yeah.
You
You
just
just
follow
had
the
to
cord.
follow the cord.
You'd either unplug it, and then when they got mad, they'd come out and see who unplugged it.
That never happened.
Right? But things have come so far from those days. And and it wasn't just one man waking up one day and saying, I have this idea, let's make a cell phone. God gave him the idea. God made everything. God made you. God made heaven and the earth. Made the animals. Made man in his image. You know, you don't think they just woke up one day and said, I'm going to invent a light bulb. I'm going to harness the energy to make a light bulb. You know, it wasn't. Yes, I know that's not what it was, but the point I'm getting at is, yeah, they may have woken up with the idea, but God gave them the idea. What if God would have said, you know what, because you guys are sinners, there is no technology. We're still living in the dark ages. Then what would you guys do? Ooh, smoke signals. Those are fun. Try reading them.
When the wind's blowing.
When the wind's blowing, right? What? I can't believe they said that to me. Build a fire. No. But see,
But just like how far technology's come,
yeah,
don't they believe that the way God does things has come just as far if he'll let society come that far? I mean,
Right.
you can't save somebody with your great grandfather's ways nowadays.
no, you have to adapt to
Yeah.
what there is. And like I've said before, God hasn't changed. God is still the same. But He has adapted to get your attention. Listen, if it takes a stripper on a pole to get your attention, He's going to use it. If it's going to take the drug addict at the house telling you about how great Jesus is, it's going to happen. The alcoholic sitting, the person, I want to see alcoholic, the person sitting next to you at a bar buying you drinks, telling you how good God is, what God can do for you, and how wonderful the world is. Don't you think He's going to use somebody on a motorcycle? He's going to use somebody in a fancy car? He's going to use somebody on TV? He's going to use somebody that has a jet? Well, that's another thing, how they're always complaining about the preachers having a jet. Well, then you guys pay for their plane tickets from the travel. It's like one of them was saying that they're always, oh, well, he's got 4 jets. He said, well, I better call the cops because 3 of them are missing.
Right.
I mean, man has 1 jet. He may have had 4, but he does not have 4.
But movie stars can have jets.
But movie stars can have jets. Drug dealers can live in these lavish houses. All these people can do all this stuff, but why can't we? And I'm not talking about me and my wife. I'm talking about all of us. So why can't we do it?
With a certain God.
We're serving God. We can do what we want, not what we want, but we can live like the world, just not in the world.
Amen.
I'm not saying, if God makes us all rich overnight, that we can go around and, hang out, buy drugs and do drugs that way in the world, but we can live in the world. We can have the things that our heart's desires, the brand new cars, the brand new trucks, the brand new house, the castle with the tree house on the top, with the little Munchkin gnome house underground or something. Talking about for Xavier.
No, I would live in the Hobbit house too.
I know you would. Listen, there is nothing anywhere written in the Bible that says that you can't have the things that these movie stars have. That you can't have the things that anybody else has. As long as you don't have your heart on it, that's not where your heart is, that's not where your desire is. You can have the Rolls Royce, you can have the Bentley, you can have the Lamborghini, you can have, I don't even know what the supercars are anymore. You can have the, well, we're going to have a jet. It's coming. It's coming. I already put in an order for it. My wife put in an order for it. It's coming. And listen, you can get mad at me and say I'm the devil and this and that all you want, because God has blessed me with a jet. But He's not blessing me with a jet. He's not blessing my wife with a jet. He's not blessing us with a jet. He's blessing Himself with a jet. So we can go do His work.
So we can fly all these people right
So
here.
we can fly all these people to go with us.
Yeah.
They're all sitting there going, uh-huh. Just kidding. They're all for it. It's a tool. This is a tool. A jet is a tool. My wife's job is a tool.
I am a tool.
My wife is a tool.
Hey.
Okay, not that one. Maybe she's a torque set or something.
I'm one of those little knives with all the things on
A
it.
little Swiss Army knife?
Yeah, I'm a Swiss Army knife.
A
That's
Swiss
what
cheese knife, maybe.
I want to be now known. Swiss Army knife.
But it's simple. So don't let these people tell you you can't have what you want. And if God tells you you can't have it, find out why. Probably because A, it's on its way. B, you don't need it right now. Or C, it's something ridiculous that even God doesn't think you can have. You do that to your kids. So just because these people get mad and don't believe, or can't believe, I don't even think if they don't believe, they can't believe. But I was there when my wife told me this and that and how about her life was. I couldn't believe it. Not that I didn't believe it, I couldn't believe it. It doesn't make sense. That's not the Bible I know. That's not the God I know. I can't believe it.
What did I tell you when you met me? What you couldn't believe?
Well, that you live here in this house and don't pay bills and everything's taken care of and you live the way you do because of Jesus Christ? No. It's hard to believe because we don't know that God. We're taught a different God. A God that hates you, a God that's judgment. Wait a minute, who does that sound like? It sounds like the devil himself. Right? Full of hate, anger, don't want you to play with his toys, wants to control you. But God doesn't want to control you. God shares his toys. God shares his kingdom. All he wants you to do is love him and follow him. Sounds pretty simple to me. But we're never taught that. We're taught about a God that's ruthless and vengeful and hates everybody. And like I said, no, God just says, hey, that's the devil. Describe the devil.
That's a man-made God.
But yeah, a man-made God. I never thought of it that way. And God says, tell him it's the devil. What does it sound like? You're right, God. It sounds like the devil.
Amen?
That's the God that we're taught. I want you to meet my God. Because my God is so much better than your God. Listen, even when I fall flat on my face, whenever I do what I'm not supposed to do, whenever I'm not who I'm supposed to be, going where I need to be going, doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing for God, he's still right there. He still loves me. I may hate myself. I may be disappointed in myself. Right. It's okay. Whenever you're done, let's do this. So no matter where you go, what you do, as long as you do it with Jesus Christ, it's going to be the best thing in your life. Listen. Me and my wife are always talking about stuff. God did this, oh, God did that. We were talking to God and this happened. Listen, we're not bragging because we're nobody special. God didn't do it for us just because God's like, well, y'all have a church in your home and you do all this stuff, so look, I'm going to bless you extra. No. We're no better than anybody else. And when we talk about the things that God does for us, the blessings that we have, the money that appears out of nowhere, that we ask for because we need something, we're not bragging about us, we're bragging about God for what he does. Because if we didn't have the faith and the belief for it to happen, it wouldn't happen. If we couldn't believe, if we can't believe it, it can't happen. Believe it, listen, everybody in this room, including the 500-pound pit bull that's laying on the floor. Okay, he's not that much, probably about a buck and a quarter anyway. He'll tell you about all the blessings that we receive, that he receives. In a year's time, people's lives have changed. Last 6 months, people's lives have changed. Last 3 months, people's lives have changed. You know, and sometimes we think, well, okay, that's all we get. You know, we had a good run with God, and that's all we're going to get. No, I'm looking forward to what's next. What's going to happen in the next 3 months? What's going to happen in the next 6 months? What's going to happen in the next year? It's going to be something that you can't fathom. Because He's so faithful. No matter if we are or not, He is. And He just wants us to want more. Because listen, God has got it. God has got it. And I'm not saying I want more as in greedily as in I deserve more. God's going to give me more. But why not desire more? The more you have, the more you can give away. The more you can give to somebody else. The more you get, you may not know it, but something that you're going to get, God might be giving for you to give to somebody else. Sammy might wind up with a new motorcycle, but it might not be for him. You know, he could be out on a tow or something. This guy says, hey, I got this dirt bike. You want it? Sammy says, sure. Guy gives him a dirt bike. Sammy's like, oh, I don't need one. I have one. So Sammy's going to be talking to somebody, and they're going to say, hey, yeah, I'm looking for a dirt bike. Sammy's like, hey, I got one. Could happen. Well, he's looking at me like, yeah. No, Sammy's getting a new job, so he's not going to be towing anymore. He's going to be a retired hooker like the best of us. So. But I'm saying, God already knows what's going to come across your path. And it may not always be for you. It may look like it's for you, or you receive it because it came from God. But it doesn't mean it's for you. Because it could be for somebody else. And that's the hardest part, is letting go, because you're like, God gave this to me. Why would God want me to let it go? Because God wants somebody to feel the joy and the happiness and the love and everything that you felt. He wants somebody else to feel it, because they need to feel it more than you do. Not saying that they're any better than you are, but you already feel it on a daily basis. But this person may need to feel it because they're going to commit suicide, or because they have given up on life, or God just wants to bless them and say, hey, you know what, I'm God, I'm still here, I love you, here you go. That's how He works. That's why we're always, me and my wife are always saying, well, if he wants a motorcycle, or if he wants this, if he wants that, listen, we're going to give it away. Because it's brought us joy. Now it's time to bring somebody else joy, because God has something better for us, bigger and better for us planned. He already knows which direction our life's going to listen. We may have to get rid of everything that we own and go live in a hobbit house. Or go live out on, 100 acres out in the middle of nowhere. We don't know. And if that's the case, a lot of the stuff we have, we don't need. We don't need the stuff that we have now, but we appreciate what we have. And you can't get more unless you get rid of something. You can only put so much soup in a bowl before it runs over. So what do you have to do? You have to eat some of the soup so you can get more soup. It's the same thing with God and His blessings. You want more, you have to get rid of something. So just remember, Jesus is the shepherd, you're the sheep. Follow His voice. I can't tell you what that sounds like. For you, I can tell you what it sounds like for me. But find out what it is and follow that voice. Don't follow the devil. Don't follow the shiny things. Don't follow the pretty things. Don't follow the squirrel. Don't get sidetracked. And as long as you go through the door through Jesus Christ, you're going to get into heaven. And don't let nobody take away what you have. Give it to them. Don't let the devil come in and say, well, I got that for you, I'm taking it. That's mine, I'm taking it home. Say, okay, devil, don't come back neither. We don't need you here. And if people get upset at the things that God has given you or blessed you with, or that you received through God, it's because they can't believe it. They can't understand it. I just pray for them that someday they will see, they will understand before it's too late, and they can live this life now. Because this is a choice. Like, you guys, your lives have changed already. Your lives have changed. And I'm not talking like everything has changed in your life. Everything's going different. You know, Sammy got his own apartment. Sammy's getting a different job. Things that Sammy's asked for.
Cheaper rent
Cheaper rent
that Sammy asked for.
that he asked for. Right. I mean, this is how God works. The things you ask for, the desires of your heart, He's going to give you. You know, Sammy's not saying, well, I want cheaper rent so I can have more money to go out and party. No, it's so I can fix my dirt bike. Just kidding. I keep crashing my dirt bike and knocking my teeth out. I don't know. Maybe you should sell it and get something else. Just kidding. I know you enjoy it. But now he's going to start a new job on the 10th. Cheaper rent. He might be moving again. Closer to his job. Which is fine. But Sammy, you know, Sammy would have never thought that he would be where he is a year ago. I wouldn't have thought a year ago I would be here. I had seen me somewhere else. Traveling around the world. In the jet. But that wasn't God's will, that wasn't God's way. Lisa's life has changed in the last year. My wife's life has changed in a year. Barbara Judd's life has changed. Sorry. I've known her for a long time. I want to tell you how long, just all my life. But her life has changed. If God would have told me, hey, Barbara Judd's life's going to change, she's going to start coming to your church, she's going to do this, she's going to be more involved, and she's going to come to know me, and she's going to come to love me, and it's going to happen because of you, I'd have laughed in his face. To be honest with you, I would have laughed at him. I'd have been like, there's no way. There is no way. But now if I was to go back, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I see it, God. See, we wouldn't believe this stuff. And I'm not saying Barbara Judd is a bad person and she doesn't deserve this and she doesn't need to know God and she doesn't. The person who she used to be. That's all I've known all my life is the person she used to be. Now if we can just get the rest of her family to show up, we'll be alright. Right? We got one and a half. Tom counts as a half. He's half the time he's here. Yeah, I know. Your daughter, her family, that was.
Now we gotta get the son.
Yeah. I will get it. Don't worry. We'll get it.
We're getting there.
But the things, it's not even us, it's God. It's God has changed these people's lives. We just opened the door and said, hey, come on in and have some food. And everybody that comes in says, yep, you had me at food. Now, what was this about a Jesus somebody person or something? But that's how it starts. You come in, come back, you come back more than 4 times and you're stuck, okay? I'm going to throw that out there. Because most people don't even make it that far. Because the power of Jesus. And, you know, we're all looking for something. We're all searching for something. And then when we find it, we get scared. And we run from it. We continue to run from it because that's all we know. And I ran from it all my life. I was already told that I was going to be doing this. And I ran from it for 30 plus years. Because I didn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Not that I didn't believe it, I couldn't believe it. My wife ran. When she was told. Sammy ran. And ran. Back and forth. And we all do it. But now there's only one direction to run. It's towards God, not away from Him. Because there's nothing away from God that you need. There's nothing away from God that you want. Because God supplies all your needs. So your needs are met, then you can ask Him for your wants. And those will be met. Trust me, it happens.
I told him that I wanted an anointing oil, but I didn't know it was gonna ruin the carpet.
Right? Oh, actually, I told God I wanted anointing oil because we had read some stories and stuff where anointing oil was coming out of Bibles and
Down the wall.
down the walls and stuff. And she said, God, I want anointing oil in my house. Well, it's coming to the floor, and it's not where we're preaching anymore. It's the whole floor. It's coming through the whole floor. Everybody freaks out. They're like, we put something right there. No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
And you can start worshiping, and the floor's dry, and normal carpet. You start worshiping and getting a deep worship and having a good time, and then your feet start feeling sticky and kind of slippery and stuff. And we've cleaned this floor. We've steam cleaned it and everything, and it's just God keeps making more. He's like, well, go ahead, clean it up. There'll be a bigger spot next time. Go ahead, clean it up. There'll be a bigger spot. You're not saying that we didn't need to shampoo the carpet because of dog and the traffic and everything coming through. It needed to be done.
It doesn't change it though.
But it doesn't change it. It just multiplies it. Maybe we should do that with my wallet right under the seat. God is good to us. I'm not, But be careful what you wish for. I mean, the floor is a prime example. We told them what we wanted jewels raining now, and they want to open the Bible and manna be pouring out. People can't believe this. You can't believe things like that happen. I couldn't have believed it. I believe it now because I've seen it. So just hold on to God no matter what, because everybody's going to have something negative to say about it. And that's okay. Because either A, they're going to turn their life around before they die, or B, they're going to realize that you were right. Either way, they're going to realize that you're right. When they're alive or when they're dead. And I'd rather see them turned around when they're alive. Because when you're dead, that's it. What you did, done. That's it. That's what you have to live with. So even if they're seem like they're a hard nut to crack, that's all right. You got them. You planted that seed in their brain. And it may not be you that helped get them saved. It may not be me. It may be somebody else. Maybe on their deathbed, you don't know. But we just got to continue to pray for these people and pray for strength and wisdom on how to reach these people and how to get through them. Because when you do something nice for somebody, they remember that. They may forget, but something will spark and they'll remember. Hey, this crazy guy came and towed my car, and he prayed over my car, and he prayed over me. I remember that. That was awesome. Hey, maybe there is something to this Jesus stuff. Let me go find the Bible. Right, not to mention if he looks like Jesus.
Jesus towed my car.
Right.
Then he anointed it and prayed over it. Just think now that he's going to be working in the department. I was sitting there praying, and Jesus knocked on the door and fixed my sink.
Right? And it won't be Jesus either. What's one of the most widely stolen objects in the world? I don't know where it ranks on the list, but what's one of the most stolen objects?
Phone?
And it's technically not stolen, it's given to you. You can take it, but most people think they steal it. The Bible out of a hotel.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I was gonna say a pen.
Well, I see big lighters on the top, but I don't know where it ranks, but and they're technically not stolen because they put them there for you to take. So I mean that's got to spark somebody's interest. If they're sitting in a hotel room and they open a drawer and there's a Bible and they're like, and they throw it to the side. But at some point they come back and they start reading it, and they start getting deeper. God starts speaking to them. So like, well, I need a Bible. I'm going to steal this one. I mean, that's what they're there. You can't, like I said, you technically can't steal them. But that's all it takes. Is a Bible. You know, I've said before, the Jehovah's Witness, they got a great little stick. You ever mean it to talk about Jesus Christ? But what do? Stand in the corner and yell and scream at people that you're going to hell. You already know you're going to hell. You already know you're a sinner. You already know your life's not that great. We need to go stand on the street corner. We need to start giving out free hugs or something. You know what I mean? Get that little lure and say, oh yeah, by the way, have you been saved? Do you know Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior? How simple would that be? And then you got people that say, well, I just wanted to hug. Thanks, we'll see. Well, hey, you know what? You feel better because you had a hug. You know? But you got the power of the Holy Spirit with you now. You got God with you now because you got that hug for me. So make a difference. I mean, you know, I'm not saying that we don't. A lot of us do. You know, and there's times that we feel like we need to do more. Even when we do a lot, it doesn't seem like we do enough. But when we stop and think about it, we're doing just the right amount of what we're supposed to be doing when we're supposed to be doing it. So with that, I'm going to say thank you all for coming. Thank you for watching. Good night and God bless.
Against